The train car was nearly empty. A single bulb flickered, casting long, dancing shadows. Daniel shivered, pulling his coat tighter. He hadn't meant to catch the last train. He hated the last train. He sank into a seat, the worn velvet cold against his skin. The window was a dark mirror, reflecting nothing. Outside, the city lights blurred into streaks of yellow and red. He closed his eyes, willing away the unease creeping up his spine. He wasn't alone. Daniel felt it before he saw it. A presence cold and still across the aisle. He didn't want to look. He had to look. A figure sat opposite him, shrouded in shadow. It was tall and thin, its form shifting in the dim light. But there was no face. Where a head should be, there was only a blankness, an absence that seemed to suck the air from his lungs. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. He tried to speak, but no sound came out. The figure remained motionless, its emptiness fixed on him. A bead of sweat trickled down his temple. He tore his gaze away, focusing on the window. He saw his reflection staring back, except it wasn't quite him. The face in the glass was pale, terrified, and then it was gone. The reflection was simply gone. He saw the train car behind him, the flickering light, but where his face should be, there was nothing. Panic seized him. He spun around, heart pounding against his ribs. The figure was gone. The seat across from him was empty. He was alone. But the feeling of dread remained, clinging to him like cobwebs. He was being watched. He could feel it. A slow, measured tap echoed through the train car. Footsteps. They were close. Daniel held his breath, listening as the steps came closer, each one sending chills down his spine. The footsteps paused beside him. He didn't dare breathe. He could feel a presence looming over him, cold and empty. The air grew heavy, thick with unspoken menace. "Looking for this?" a voice whispered right next to his ear, a voice devoid of warmth or humanity. Daniel squeezed his eyes shut, his whole body trembling. He didn't want to see, he couldn't bear to see, but the voice, it sounded familiar, disturbingly familiar.